Hey guys, it's M4J here, and welcome back to North Reef City here on City Skylines. I don't think I've ever said that before, because last episode I didn't say the name of the series, did I? No. Yes, North Reef City, we are back, and we are here at Reef Square. North Reef Square. North Reef Square, I think this is called. Oh, I can't remember. But this is the sort of focal point of like the touristy / leisure area of the city. I think I mentioned that last time out. I'm trying to remember. This is kind of like where the nightclubs would be, and I think I did mention this actually. I said it was a bit like Soho in London, but not quite without the reputation that Soho has, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But you know, every city has its like fun spot, and this is definitely North Reef City's fun spot. So today we're kind of doing a few little bits and pieces. We're not really doing much in North Square. I just wanted to finish off some stuff that I forgot to do last time out, basically, which that's on me. And then start working on this. Now, this is one of the main junctions through the city. The main road that you see running north to south right now, or top to bottom, that will continue to run north to south, top to bottom. It might not be a freeway or a motorway for much longer. It might get changed to just, you know, like an A road or that kind of thing. But because this is kind of a big part of the city here, I decided to go with this diverging diamond interchange, it's called, which is, I mean, you can kind of see how it works. You go from being on the left-hand side of the road to the right-hand side of the road for the main crux of it there, and then very quickly switch back to the left-hand side of the road again to then join either the main road or continue on the road that you were already on. Never built one of these before. It was kind of a challenge. It wasn't as bad. Thankfully, I had a tutorial that I was watching as I was building it, which made life a lot easier. But actually, I think it kind of worked out quite well. I don't really have many complaints. It's one of these ones where you when you know what you're doing, it's a lot easier to do. I'll give you that. But even when you're starting out for the first time, like I am here, it kind of just built itself in many ways. Again, the tutorial helped. Tutorials always help. But considering this is the first time I've ever done something like this, it's the first time I've ever really cared about road intersections in general, I'm pretty proud about how good this looks. There are things that I would change about it, obviously. There's things that most people would change about, lots of things, to be honest. But one of the things I would love to change is the traffic behavior in this game, because it can be a bit of a pain in the neck sometimes. Thankfully, I've watched this run for a while off camera, and it seems to be okay. Nothing really stands out. There's a couple of little annoyances, which you'll see a little bit later on. The big one for me, excuse me, the big one for me in terms of annoyances is some of these junctions, the way they've been built, it makes the lane arrows not quite go in the direction I want them to, which means when it comes to setting up traffic lights, I couldn't do filtered lanes. So, you know, for those of you that don't know what a filter lane is, you have a lane that sometimes goes straight on, and then you have a lane that goes to the right, and then you have a traffic light where it shows straight on and then right. The right-hand one, the one where it goes green with an arrow pointing to the right, that's a filter. And it basically means if you're turning right, you can go. If you're going straight on, you might still have to stop. That's how those work. Now, because of the lane arrows, I wasn't able to do that with all of these. I was able to do it in one direction, but not the other. And apart from deleting and rebuilding the road, I don't actually know how to go about fixing that, which is kind of annoying. So some of the traffic movements that I wanted to build, I've not been able to. But I guess that's not the end of the world. It just means that traffic would have to stop when otherwise it would have been able to continue. And in fact, I think it's the road that goes from the left now to the right, at the point in which it goes from the diamond back towards running on regular left-hand side traffic. I think that's where it messes up. Yeah. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I tried to not think about it too much, but it is very, very irritating that it doesn't quite work how I'd like it to. But yeah, as I said, it is what it is. There's not really much we can do about it at this point. It's just a minor inconvenience. That's all it is. So yeah, setting up some lane intersection markings here. one of the cool things, there is actually a mod that does this, I believe. But I'm going to use the default, not default, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to use the lane intersection marking tool to actually do it this time. But we don't need these medians in these junctions, because traffic is not turning left here. It's not turning right here when it's running to the right, and it's not turning left here when it's coming from the left. Wow. It's not turning right when it's coming from the left, and it's not turning left when it's coming from the right, is what I'm trying to say. So, therefore, we can fill in the gap, like I've just done there. And I really like the way, actually, it blends into the road. There is one up here that's kind of annoying. I think it's because of the way that the node slopes. It makes it a bit irritating again. And I'm going to use the word irritating a lot, and I don't mean to criticize too much, but when you've got in your head like this perfect junction setup, it can be, irritating when it doesn't actually work the way you want it to. There's ways around that, of course. You could just lower your expectations, which is something I am slowly starting to learn to do. Not just in this game, but lots of games that I play. I get very ambitious with my designs, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't work how I wanted it to, and then you kind of get a little bit deflated. The biggest one that I get that in right now is OpenTTD, because I get these really good ideas for logistics networks, and then none of them work, and then you're kind of just sat there like, well, that sucks. But, you build a bridge and you get over it. That's the phrase I'm using a lot in life at the moment. I am loving, by the way, how these intersections look when they're properly decorated. Again, there's a minor irritation. The line doesn't quite match the curb there. There's probably a way around that. I don't know off the top of my head. I'll find a way to fix it, I'm sure. I think I was trying to move the points there, and it's actually, if you could add a third point where you want the curve to go, that would be brilliant. But I don't think you're able to, which is just one of those things, I suppose. Painting the roads as well. This is something that didn't really need to be done, but I thought it's quite rare, especially here in the UK. It's quite rare that you do right-hand traffic. So I'd make a spectacle of it and paint it blue and red, put it in the old channel colours here. I think I do tone it down a little bit because it gets a little too bright there. Also, you got to be careful with reds. I think I said this in New Guard City as well. You got to be careful with reds because red obviously means stop for a lot of the world. So you don't want cars to think they can't go that way because they can. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Another problem that I've got is these UK roads. They're awesome. They're gorgeous. They're amazing. But one slight issue I have is you don't seem to have a 3-lane, one-direction road that doesn't have parking. Same with 4-lane, same with 2-lane. So you'll notice a lot of my roundabout entries have these empty lanes, which are parking, really. But you can't use them for parking because these are main roads and you don't do parking on main roads. So, again, going to use that magic word again. It's a little irritating that you kind of have this wastage. So this road here, the two bridges going over the motorway, the left-hand side of both of those roads is empty. Nothing will ever use it because it's parking, and we don't have parking on here because it's a major, a major junction. That's what I was looking for. It's a major road junction. Why would you have parking on a major road junction? It's just stupid. So again, minor irritation. You could just say that. I suppose. Trying to think what you would do in real life. I suppose you put hatching on it, and I've seen a few main roads around where I live at the moment that have that, where clearly they've built it with an extra lane in mind in future, but there's no need for it right now. So they've just put hatching on it, or they've moved the central reservation, made it wider, and that's how they get around that. It's a it's a viable way of doing it. Nothing wrong with that. So long as it works, doesn't really bother me. It doesn't interrupt my driving or anything, so I'd say it's all good. Doing some highway junction markings here as well. I love this intersection tool, by the way, the fact that you can just copy and paste now between junctions. When I built the magic roundabout in New Guard City, I remember saying one of the biggest problems I had with it was I had to build the junction on one part of the roundabout and then go and build it, was it 6 or 7 more times? for the rest of the roundabout. Whereas now, you build it once, you hit the copy button, you select the next interchange, and you hit the paste button. And it's done. And it's amazing. Intersection, that's what I was looking for. It's literally called the intersection marking tool. But yeah, you just copy and paste it, and it's all done. And then you can, now with the new additions to it, you can just... that was weird as well, the way that works. With the new additions, you can just rotate it so that it fits, and it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. I think it's awesome. And yeah, we've got this other new thing that I've never done before, which is like a slip road. So we've got the actual major slip roads themselves. You'll see where the road diverges and it heads up towards the diamond. But we've got like this extra lane slip road, which is, you know, filter lane, turn lane, whatever you want to call it. Never done that before. With the intersection marking tool and node controller, you can now actually build them, which is awesome. And it's little things like that. There's times where I think, was now a good time to start a new series on City Skylines? And then I see little mods like that. They just pop up and do absolutely what you want it to. Absolutely when you want it to. And it's just awesome. I love it so much. So I'm very, very happy with that. And now we're going to satisfy our industrial demand. So we've got, you know, the Rico, I guess it's Rico. The Rico bars at the bottom there, knocking on my door every day, going, can we have some industry, please? We got quite a lot of residential. We got quite a lot of commercial. So now it's about time that we came in and added the industry, or the industrial, to you and I. And here it is, which I'm very, very happy about as well. This is temporary, by the way. Don't think this is what the permanent one's going to look like, because it's god-awful. This is not a good design, I'll be honest. But it ticks the box. It kind of justifies the existence of the diverging diamond right now as well, because right now there was no traffic heading away from the city. It was all heading towards, or at least it was heading onto the main road. So this is kind of just something to make the other side of the diamond, you know, exist. Otherwise, there's no point in having it. I think it works. Traffic seems fine. I had a couple of roundabouts up here as well, also temporary. I want to build another magic roundabout on here. Maybe not have it be 8 this time. Maybe just have it be 6. And maybe not put a really weird tram stop in the middle of it either. There's that 2-lane road again with parking either side. I think this one has, which makes it look really weird. I changed that to a 4-lane, which actually kind of works. You can have the 2 outer lanes be the turning lanes, and then the other lanes be continue round. And so long as you have, you know, 4 entries and exits, which we don't have right now, we've only got 2, it actually works really, really well, because you basically choose your exit lane when you enter the roundabout, which is something that not many roundabouts around my way do. It's normally you get 1 or 2 lanes and then you have people cutting across the front of each other because they don't really know where they're going. That can be quite annoying. That can be very, very quite annoying, in fact. But yeah, this industrial area, as I said, it's all temporary. It will all get replaced. It's just to tick a box right now. It's to get the citizens to actually grow the commercial and the residential, which is basically that's my main priority right now. I could have made this all offices. One of the next areas of the city I'm planning on building will be all offices. It just made sense right now to have this, because we haven't really got educated citizens right now either, because we've not really plopped down many schools or high schools or colleges or universities or anything. So, as I said, this is literally a stopgap. I've just noticed my chair has like properly sunk. Let me just fix... Actually, no, I'm not going to fix that right now. I'll sort that out later. I thought I was like talking up into my microphone, and now I know why. That was weird. I don't know if my girlfriend's playing a prank on me or something by moving my chair when I'm not looking. But yeah, just noticed it. So we're basically coming up to the end of the first part of this video. And yes, there's 2 parts to this video. This is part 1. Part 2 you will see shortly. Oh yeah, I put some shark teeth on this one as well. We don't really have the giveaway. So here in the UK, there's like a giveaway dotted line, which makes it really obvious that you've got to give way. We don't have that in the game, it seems. It's just shark teeth, which is, I think, American and European, if I recall. So, yeah, just had to use that for now. Might go and change it at some point, don't really know. Now, I know I said I wasn't focusing on transport anytime soon, but I did just want to have a look to see what North Reef Square or Reef Square Station could look like. As it turns out, not this. I actually forgot that I do have the creator pack for stations. I'm guessing it's under hubs, those stations, because I couldn't find them anywhere in trains and metro. So I will have to go and look for them at some point. That, I think, is going to be what we have here. It might not be overground. It might all be underground. North Reef underground system, I guess. Excuse me, stifling a yawn. It's Friday afternoon recording this, by the way. Oh yeah, this is a day late, this video. It's meant to go up on Friday. It's up on Saturday instead. Work. You know the drill. Sometimes things come up and obviously work is unavoidable. Was it death, taxes and work? That's the three unavoidable things in life. So yeah, not had time to record the voiceover for this until today. And I think that's all I've got to say on that, actually. There's nothing else interesting anyway. Just life. Life being life. I can't remember what I was saying. Something to do with putting down transit stations. So I'll have a look to see if they're in there. If they're not, then I don't know what's happened, because I definitely own the creator content pack. So I don't know where that would have gone, but yeah. Right, so like I said, second part of the video. So the first part is the diverging diamond. The second part, I'm just fixing the water supply issue that we had here. Again, everything you see me build right now is temporary. It will all get replaced. Excuse me, stifling another yawn. I am very tired, apparently. So yeah, building this main road up the hill. Now, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think it's like Linden Hillside, we end up calling this, which is like our hilltop residential area. It's a bit more of like housing estates here in the UK. It's got a lot more like suburbanism to it. Oh, I think I was talking about, yeah, what kind of transport would use North Reef Square. That's what I was talking about. So like I said, it's the leisure district. So we'll have a lot of connections. But I'm going to avoid the central hub thing that I normally have in my cities. I'm also debating right now where the city centre is actually going to go, because this obviously isn't it. This is a town that's going to grow into a city right now. The city centre itself is probably going to be on the other side of the river to where we are now, and you actually look across to the city centre. And obviously we're going to have things like a central business district. Excuse me, frogs keep climbing in my throat. We're going to have something like a central business district. We're going to have, harbour, airport, especially when the airport's DLC is out. I've had a look at it. I watched the live stream the other day. It looks pretty good. The possibilities are definitely there. There are some things, I feel like it's a little lacking still in some of the things you can do, but I think mods will fill the gaps like always. So it's not me criticizing the devs or anything, because, I mean, let's be honest, the City Skylines developers have done a pretty damn good job. This game came out in, 2015, I think it was? So 7 years almost ago, this game came out, and they're still adding content to it. That's definitely a development team that love their game. So no criticism here from me on that. But, at the same time, some of the content does feel a little lacking, but at the same time, they did allow modding, which, how can you complain when they put in the tools for modders to come in and do their magic, and boy, do they do their magic. So, maybe there'll be some stuff to do with the airports that, like I said, the gap gets filled. If so, then great. If not, then it's not the end of the world. It is just a little bit limiting. This little area here that I'm building, this is very much based on UK housing estates. The one I grew up on, for example, which, I mean, it's not the worst estate in the world, but it was still an ex-council housing estate. Basically, you've got your little side streets where people live, and then you've got, on roundabouts and corners, you've got your corner shops, which, for those of you outside the UK, corner shops are kind of like the staple of communities. I guess the equivalent would be like a bodega in places like New York, where it's your community store. You can pretty much pick up anything and everything from there. You might even know the owners by name, which in our case, where I grew up, yeah, we did know the owners by name, because their names, they basically name the shops after themselves. It's just one of those things they do. So you've got like a parade of shops is what they're called. So here's another parade of shops here. And it's just a little thing off of the main road where you can go shopping. So you park your car there and you'll go in and you buy stuff, or it might be, in this case, pedestrian only. And it'll be where all your shops are. So we've got little shopping areas within the main residential area. There's me turning off the day-night cycle because I realised I couldn't see what I was doing because it was pitch black. Now I'm trying to not confuse myself here because I've already started recording episode 3 and it does take over from where episode 2 ends. So I'm trying to remember what I did in 2 and what I did in 3. I think what happens, yeah, these two roads meet and then I build a roundabout on this junction, and this is also going to be like a little community area where these two roads meet. Whenever I get the roundabout right, there we go. And then I connect these up, apparently right next to each other, and then I build a little, oh yeah, there we go. So I build these little joining roads as well. Again, this is me kind of like experimenting with different ideas, different styles, that kind of thing, seeing what works, what doesn't. Happy to say, majority of it seems to have come out okay. Couple of little connection issues in different nodes, but otherwise really, really happy with how this is looking. You can kind of imagine like sports fields and stuff near this roundabout as well. Next episode I do in fact build a little village pub on the corner, a little parking area as well, and just try and make it look a little bit nicer. I'm focusing more on areas as well, like little parts of it. I will go and add some eye candy and use some mods here and there to beautify it. You're going to see me do that a lot more. So each part of the city has a reason for existing. Each part, you know, it's thought out. It's I wouldn't use the word methodical because, I mean, I still don't quite know what I'm doing when it comes to city planning. But it's a lot more going into this. And you can see I've got these little cul-de-sacs here as well where people will live. You can imagine each cul-de-sac, they have their own little community where they all know each other. They're all on neighborhood watch, whatever it might be. And just trying to make this feel like a city that is actually lived in, rather than one that's like an eye candy wish list kind of thing. And then, yeah, we've got this road joins up to that road. This roundabout is awesome and terrible in equal measure. It was like when I built it here, I thought, yeah, this looks really, really cool. And the next episode, you'll see me come in and make a few tweaks here and there. And then suddenly it doesn't quite work how I'd like it to. It's, I guess, one of those things again. There's not a great deal you can say about it. It's a little bit of a moan and a little bit of whinge. I'd say it's irritating again that it didn't quite work how I wanted it to. But again, it's not the end of the world. Worse things are happening right now than a roundabout that doesn't work as expected. Putting some little cut throughs here as well. You can imagine, so these are pedestrian only, these roads, and you can just imagine, you know, people walk along them to get from their house to the local corner shop, or, you know, there might be some football pitches over the we used to say things like over the street. Basically we meant like the street behind the street that we lived on. So from where I grew up, the fire station was, you know, 2-3 streets away. So we'd go through the alleyways. I had a friend who lived near there, so we'd go through the alleyways to a house on the street, and we'd say, you know, we're going to the next street over, that kind of thing. And, you know, this isn't based on the excuse me, this isn't based on the area I grew up in necessarily, but there are parts of it that do draw inspiration. So like there are certain layouts, road layouts, things like that are very, very similar to where I grew up. And yeah, Linden Hilltop, we do call it. And that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. Like I said, not a huge amount going on right here, right now. It's mainly building the framework still. Obviously, once all these residential areas are up and running, then we can start looking at the more hardcore stuff like taxes, transport, you know, the things that everyone plays City Skylines for. Right now, it's just getting the framework in place before we come in and add all that stuff. And then, yeah, just zoning it all at the end here. So we've got the parade of shops, as you can see. I didn't mean to put residential there. You see I'll go and take it out again. Those shops are meant to look over the city, basically. And I might upgrade those roads to be parking instead of what they are currently, just so that you could actually go park outside the store and not have to walk to it necessarily. But yeah, we've got these 3 little commercial areas, and that should be enough for all of this. And then a little pub on the corner as well. But like I said, that's it for this episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and of course you're enjoying the series so far. Drop some comments down below, give me some ideas for future episodes and all that good stuff. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. And until next time, I will see you soon.